Hello everyone, I'm Yuli Liang, and I'm here to solve a multi-billion-dollar problem that's hiding in every supply chain operations across America. This is Vera, the first adversarially robust AI system that doesn't just forecast demand. It understands when humans are lying about it. Let me share a true story with you. In my previous role as a demand planner, I followed the standard process. Sales gives us a forecast. We load it into our ERP system and then we execute. Very simple process, right? However, one day I noticed something very unusual. Sales requested planning for 2,200 units per month for an item. A pretty typical request. But through a series of follow-up conversations, I discovered the actual customer demand was, however, 500 units per month. That's 4 times of the difference. This wasn't just a one-off mistake. When we investigated this further and manually corrected for all the biased inputs in the system, we discovered the truth. Strategic inflation of the demand is systematic in the company. By simply removing the strategic bias from focus, we reduced inventory by $30 million while maintaining service levels at around 93%. Proving this problem has massive financial impact. That's when I realized this problem is real and worth billions of dollars. We need an AI system that can automatically detect and correct these human biases instead of trusting every human input as a golden truth. That's exactly what Vera is designed to do. Here is how the ERP system has evolved and why this problem is getting worse, not better. As we can see in the old days, it was a lot simpler. Fewer stakeholders, a very clear line of communication. However, look at today's complexity. We have added layers of demand planners, multiple software systems, and countless touchpoints where the incentives can diverge from the truth. That is exactly where Vera fits. We're not replacing these systems, we are making them honest. Vera sits between the human input and our ERP execution, asking the question no one else is asking. Is this forecast strategically motivated, or is it actually accurate? So, how does this actually work? Vera has two phases, and this is intentional. Up front, it feels completely natural, a conversational interface that planners already know how to use. You can ask questions, get clarifications, make an adjustment. There's no learning curve for them. But behind the scenes, this is where the magic happens. Vera is running what we call a human-like strategic layer. It's not just analyzing demand patterns. It's analyzing human patterns. So when data comes in, Vera asks, who provided this data? What are their incentives? Does this align with verifiable external data? And then it applies game theoretical principles to make honesty the optimal strategy. Here's what's crucial. Vera faces no competition in the strategic layer of ERP management. Every other solution assumes inputs are honest. We are the first to assume they might not be. Now let's talk about proving this works in the real world with a structured enterprise pilot approach. I have designed a comprehensive development path that builds credibility while minimizing risks for early adopters. First, we built the core technology, 5500 for our strategic AI layer, the reinforcement learning system that detects and corrects forecast bias, plus all the trust embedded model that makes honesty the optimal strategy. Second, we prove it scientifically. 1800 for controlled behavior lab studies at University of Miami, where we will test Human forecast behavior against various corrections in controlled environments. This gives us peer-reviewed validation of our approach. Third, we prove it commercially. 1,700 for comprehensive pilot preparation with an enterprise partner. Executive presentations, ROI modeling, stakeholder mapping, everything needed to run a successful proof of concept. Finally, we make it seamless. 1,000 for minimal ERP connectors that let us pull real ERP data and push back all optimized recommendations. So we can benchmark Vera's performance against their current baseline. Total investment, 10 grand for a comprehensive pilot-ready system that generates measurable ROI from day one. Okay, now let's talk about how do we turn this into a scalable business. Our enterprise subscription model is based on the SKU count. The more complex your inventory is, the more value Vera provides and the more money you pay. Implementation fees cover our setup costs and creates additional revenue stream. But here's a bigger picture. The major ERP vendors, including SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, and Blue Yonder, they all need strategic AI differentiation. Vera becomes their intelligent planning layer, and we can become an acquisition target with a clear path tied to their revenue generation. This gives us two ways to win: build a profitable SaaS service or become the strategic acquisition that transforms how enterprise planning works. The market opportunity is massive and growing very fast. The global demand planning solutions market is 4.81 billion today, projected to hit 11.7 billion by the year of 2033. That's over 10% compound annual growth. But we're not going after everyone. We are laser focused on US-based manufacturers, distributors, and retailers who are already using ERP system. That's a 1.34 billion market with a very high AI adoption rates. Our realistic targets would be the top 200 North American operators who are dealing with the biased planning signals. 25 customers at 250K annual recurring revenue each gives us 6.25 million in the bookings, a conservative 4 million annual recurring revenue run rate. And here's the key. With 82% of the supply chain organizations planning to adopt AI within 5 years, we are positioned to be the first agentic planner that they can trust to operate from end to end. But this isn't just about market size. It's about solving a fundamental problem that costs company millions every year in excess inventory and missed opportunities. Let me bring this full circle. Every day, billions of dollars in inventory decisions are being made based on strategically inflated forecasts. Everyday companies are carrying excess inventory they don't need or running out of products they do need because their system cannot tell the differences between honest signals and motivated ones. We have already proven this problem exists and quantified its impact through manual correction processes. Now, Vera represents the scalable AI solution that can automatically detect and correct strategic bias across entire supply chains. Through rigorous academic validation and real-world testing, we will demonstrate that AI systems can understand strategy, incentives, and human behavior, not just historical data patterns. The outcome is simple and very powerful. Learner inventory, fewer surprises, and decisions you can actually trust, with measurable ROI from the very first pilot engagement. Vera is not just better forecasting software. It's a true virtual intelligence for modern inventory management. The question isn't whether strategic forecasting bias exists in supply chains. Industry research proves it does. The question is, are you ready to invest in the first solution that can actually solve it? Thank you very much.